Hello, welcome to another episode of the Sam and Matt Show. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and welcome to the show. We talk about gaming and esports in the lens of marketing and content primarily. So I'm super excited. First topic I want to talk about today is actually about players. If you haven't seen it, there's this new parody show docuseries that is coming out on the streaming service Paramount Plus in a month, I think, from now. Sometime in June. But either way, the big thing about this, my hot take on it, is that Players is going to be a really, really fun and wild show for all of League fans, esports fans, the casual community when it comes to gaming. And it's going to be good. I think people are really worried about being cringe. There are some cringy moments on there, for sure, from the trailer. But I think it's going to be super fun. And actually, the first thing I want to talk about is that I have no doubt that there are going to be actual multiple seasons of it.
Okay. Damn. Okay, you're coming out swinging then.
I am. Yeah,
That is bold.
yeah. How do you feel? Do you have doubts that it's going to be any good?
I don't have doubts that it'll be good. I do have doubts that it'll get a second season. Do you know who Game Grumps is?
Game Grumps?
They're a comedy duo. And they had a YouTube original called Good Game, which was essentially the same premise, although it was Dota, but it was a fake esport.
Mm-hmm.
But because I thought Good Game was such a good show, and they didn't get a season 2, that's where my doubt comes in that they will get a season 2. Like episode 1 has 4 million views.
Wow.
They had Dan Harmon, who was like producing it, writer. He's the guy on Rick and Morty.
He's a guy on
Uh,
Community too, right? I think.
yeah.
We look at a show like Arcane, which was on Netflix.
Mhm.
I think that was wildly successful by any metric that anyone could come up with. I think it won awards. It's talked about in mainstream culture. It hit audiences that never played League. I have friends that watched it that were like didn't even know League of Legends was a game. So it's like it did well. People love it. People are so excited for season 2, right? I don't think it'll have as much hype or rock the boat as much as Arcane did,
Mhm.
but I think like that is not the metric of success, right? I think the metric of success is that it'll get an X amount of views, people will be talking about it, and I think it'll get people to download or try a free trial of Paramount Plus as long as, the first episode. I don't think it's coming out like all at once. And as long as it keeps getting repeat users, I think it's going to be a success.
I can honestly see a lot of people getting Paramount Plus only for this show, because I don't know any show that will like get people on Paramount Plus that much for like right now. And this is like such a niche topic where it's like, even if it's like a quarter of the viewership or a tenth of the viewership of Arcane, there will be a lot of people who will subscribe just for this show. That if that happens at a high enough rate, I can definitely see there being a season 2, just because there are not many people on Paramount Plus. And so the barrier of entry, or the line that you have to cross to make that a good conversion rate, is not high, and I think that this show could actually smash that.
I downloaded HBO. I paid for HBO when Game of Thrones was going on, and then I canceled it once Game of Thrones was off. And then when the new season came out, I restarted back my service and then turned it off afterwards, right?
Okay, so Fudgy Waffles, he said he doesn't think that people are going to watch Paramount Plus, right? Like the big problem for this is that it's on Paramount Plus.
And no one has Paramount Plus. I've not met a single person that has it. In marketing, like the marketing funnel, you never want to add another unnecessary click, right? If you have a shopping experience, Amazon one-click shopping is like the best thing to ever happen for Amazon, right? So you just having to switch over to another service and download it and put your credit card information and try to like set a calendar reminder to remember to cancel your free membership before like you get charged, like all those kind of things is like really difficult, right? That's a huge ask. But as long as enough people are talking about it, no one wants to miss out on watching it and talking about it too. Like, right? I am having difficulty right now being able to use the freaking internet on YouTube or Twitter because I haven't watched the latest Doctor Strange movie yet, and it's been out for like less than a week. Like it's hard, right? So I think this will have the same effect and what I expect to happen. And this is kind of hinting at like what have we learned from Arcane? You have organic marketing happening with people tweeting out like, "Oh, look at this cameo of this character in Arcane. Look at this meme that I made from Arcane." People are talking about it and people won't shut up about it and people are excited about it. I think this has so many memeable moments, so many like cameos from like Jat, Arrow, and old LCS Pro. Um, all these things embedded in it that people will be tweeting about those moments. People will be talking about those moments. And I think that'll get enough people to want to at least check it out. And as long as like the first 3 episodes are good or whatever, I think then they're hooked. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be good. So the other thing, the other hot take I have on this
Mhm.
is I think this is gonna be really great for esports. I think it could have the unexpected consequence of killing LCS team's YouTube channel content.
Good.
No, for real though, I think you can create all the drama because it's a fictional show.
Mhm.
You can base all the stuff that happened in LCS, in Dota, in Counter-Strike, whatever other places that like weren't perfectly made because it was real life. And now you can script it. So then when I go watch TSM Legends or whatever else I want to watch, EG Files, EG Files will definitely stand the test of time. No
Of
worries.
course it
Of
will. Yeah,
course, of
duh,
course. But
obviously.
watching any other
Everything else, no.
watching any other docuseries though, it's the same storyline over and over and over again. You cannot show everything or else you get a breaking point and everyone like that's just like not good for anyone except the
The
fans.
fans. The reason why Breaking Point is so good is because you feel it's real and you're giving insight on like what it's actually like to see a team implode.
Yeah.
Which honestly I think is really good for the esports fan as a whole. Like I think Breaking Point is great,
Yeah.
but I understand why you could not do that today, right? Like 100 Thieves is never going to make a Breaking Point thing because they don't want a player to be scared to come to their org and ruin their reputation.
You know, I will
Um,
say the trailer definitely missed a moment where the coach is in the back room and throws his clipboard to the ground, and I'm like, he definitely should have slammed a keyboard against the desk as like an homage to Loco Doco smashing a keyboard in Breaking Point. It would I saw the scene and I'm like, that's what it is. That was the G-rated version of it. Like
dude,
that
Breaking
sucked.
Point is so crazy.
Players, wild success. Sam was absolutely right. Actually, even passed his expectations. It blew out of the water. Contracted for 5 more seasons, right?
Better than Arcane.
Yeah, better than Arcane. And then the new split happens. TSM releases their TSM Legends episode 1 for the season. So then all these people, they're like, wow, yeah, that this show was really funny. I want to go watch TSM Legends. They tune in and they're like, oh, like where's the drama? Where's the person breaking their keyboard? Like, where's the douchebag player? Where's the prodigy that came out, 17-year-old prodigy that came out of nowhere? And then they're missing all these beats.
No, they're not. It's on youtube.com/more double lift.
True. So like, then they realize it's like, hey, have you seen Home Alone 1? Great, classic. Have you seen Home Alone 3? No one wants to watch Home Alone 3, right? It's like, why would I send someone to watch, like, after they watch an amazing something, watch the worst version of that? And that's what I'm worried about with the LCS docuseries. People are going to tune in expecting it to be this dramatized version of docuseries. And so you cannot craft as good of a storyline as, like, potentially real life.
Okay, so there's the other part of the spectrum where I think this is good in both ways. Because on one hand, there are a lot of terrible docu-series on YouTube channels for
Mm-hmm.
esports that need to fucking step up their game or make different content. pick and choose. Like if you're not going to have a good docu-series, make something else. You don't need a good docu-series. You can do something else because unless you're the best docu-series or really good and authentic, then you're fine. But on the other hand, I think it could push more interest because if somebody is watching this, let's like for example, if I'm trying to get me as an esports fan, right? If this show is really that good, then it could be a way for me to show my sister, for example,
Hmm.
who has no interest in esports. She won't even watch a turn down for Walt video, which I helped make, right? Like she's that disinterested. If it's that good that I can show it to her and it engages her, then she might be like, okay, let me see the real thing. Or like I think it can actually get more viewership for docuseries for people who are not already ingrained in this scene.
Hmm.
If this show becomes the type of show where it's like I as an esports fan want to show it to someone who doesn't get esports to be entertained and like also bridge that gap. So it
Yeah.
just depends.
Yeah, and see, this is what I'm worried about. Hey, have you seen Home Alone 1? Great classic. Have you seen Home Alone 3? No one wants to watch Home Alone 3, right? It's like, why would I send someone to watch, like, after they watch an amazing something, watch the worst version of that? And that's what I'm worried about with the LCS docuseries. TSM releases their TSM Legends episode 1 for the season. So then all these people, they're like, wow, yeah, that this show was really funny. I want to go watch TSM Legends. They tune in and they're like, oh, like, where's the drama? Where's the person breaking their keyboard? Like, where's the douchebag player? Where's the prodigy that came out, 17-year-old prodigy that came out of nowhere? And then they're missing all these beats.
No, they're not. It's on youtube.com/more double lift.
True, true, true. So, like, people are going to tune in expecting it to be this dramatized version of docuseries. And then they're like, oh, they're not really saying anything. I don't know who this player is. Why do I care? So you cannot craft as good of a storyline as like potentially real life.
I used to watch every single docu-series. I watched the Optic docu-series when they're in the LCS and it had like 300 views. Like it I watched everything at one point. And the biggest problem is when when it feels fake and it feels forced. And like people who watch these things picked up on it. That's why they don't get the viewership anymore. Is you just feel like you're being lied to. If you don't know the scene, right? And you're coming onto the scene, you're going to probably be most attracted to a team that has a big fan base, which is generally winning, right? So let's say 100 Thieves is winning.
Hmm.
Their production team is insane. Like I've seen their docu series, The Heist. I've
Yeah.
watched like almost every episode. It's actually incredible. The viewership is underrated. TL, their docu series, also incredible. Like I don't watch every episode. I don't even know if they're still doing it. But like I like if they win finals, I'm watching that episode,
Hmm.
right? So, and when you have a team that is winning, it's really like that it's always going to be more authentic because that drama is a lot less likely to happen because they're not imploding from the inside because they won. Like if a team wins LCS, they probably did not have an implosion, um, which probably means they won. Or if they did have an implosion, they'll talk about it in like episode 6 when the implosion happened in episode 3.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm still like, I think it'll bring more awareness. I think it could bring more casual fans. I think in preparation, teams might want to prepare more casual or introductory content,
Mhm.
right? If they explain it a little bit more, maybe they're already losing the hardcore fan base anyway, like the hardcore fan base that are looking for these details and like why picking bands and draft was like such a big deal. So maybe we've already lost those viewers anyway. So just opening the funnel to more casual fans could work, but I don't know. I feel pretty pessimistic about it, but
Okay.
yeah, we'll
I
see.
I think that's always the best strategy. Um, so I can tell you for Turn Down for Walt, check him out on YouTube. Uh, our biggest thing is like targeting hardcore but making it accessible for fan viewers.
Hmm.
But if you look at a channel like Summoning Salt, right? He does like documentary style videos on speedrun world record progressions for speedrunning, right? I don't think any of the hardcore speedrunning community is like, damn, this shit is whack, right? Even though his content appeals to casual viewership,
Hmm.
right? I don't follow speedrunning, but I love that shit. But I guarantee you, people who are really dialed into speedrunning really appreciate Summoning Salt videos because I think you can make your content accessible without putting excessive kid gloves on to like alienate your hardcore viewers.
Yeah,
And that's where I
that's a great point, and I totally agree with that. I think I just haven't seen an LCS team do that well.
yeah, that's
Like,
on the LCS
yeah,
teams.
that is on the else. And that's why I'm afraid like now we made if players is actually good, why watch anything else but players? If you can watch players. That's what I'm worried about. Where it's just like, oh, now I've realized how sucky this is. I have to force myself to watch docuseries to kind of keep up with what's going on, and I have not found anything interesting except EG files, obviously.
Of course.
I'm not. There's nothing. There's nothing as even a hardcore fan that keeps my like. It's just the same old formula, the same responses, like you mentioned, the in authenticity, those kind of things. So hopefully it gets
Wait,
everyone
wait,
to step up.